You're amazing, you're amazing, you are powerful. If you can dream it, you can do it. Begin and make it happen. Gotta believe, believe in yourself. You gotta believe, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am so excited about my next guest, who is a multidimensional talent. She's an actress, a producer, a director, also an entrepreneur in entertainment production for film, TV, and radio. She's also the executive producer of the hit family reality show, The Family Cruise, where she stars alongside her incredibly hilarious husband, Terry Crews. She has a new debut single coming out, as well as a book. Please welcome to the show, Rebecca Crews. All right. Well, hello, Rebecca. Welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Orgena.
Oh.
I'm honored to be on your show.
I'm honored that you are
Your
here.
show. All right.
Well, and you are a woman of the same many, many hats, I see, right? Very, very busy.
Yes. Well, mostly I have a bunch of kids. That's mostly what I'm busy doing, is being a mom.
Well, and I'm sure that's like really primary and a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But you've got your fingers in a lot of pots, doing a lot of wonderful things.
Yeah, they're kind of
Yes.
sticking to me right now. I'm like, which pot do I keep and which one do I let go? No.
Right. Well, we'll get into some of those wonderful projects that you're doing in just a moment. But first, I would really love to know, and I'm sure lots of our viewers would love to know a little bit about your story with your husband, Terry. How did the two of you meet? Tell us about that love story.
Oh, Terry was, oh my goodness, a college sophomore at Western Michigan University, and I was a senior. Yes, I'm an older woman. I took my husband from his mama, married him off, and the rest is history.
Okay.
No.
As they say.
Yes, and I was the music director at my local church.
Okay.
And I was up on the keys on Wednesday night, directing the choir and doing my thing. And Terry came in with a friend who was just a mutual acquaintance of ours
Yes.
from the campus.
Okay.
And after church, he was introduced to me by this gentleman. And according to Terry, I snubbed him. I don't remember it being a snub, but according to Terry, I was very nonchalant, shall we say. And once
Okay.
he said hello to me with this kind of, compliment, he thought he was going to really impress me. He's like, wow, I love the way you play those keys, sister. You are really amazing. And I was like, thank you. Like in my mind, I've heard that 1,000 times.
Like no big deal.
Yeah,
it's coming
no
from
big
you.
deal, whatever, And he tells the story a little differently because I was a single mother at the time. And he watched me throughout the service like, who is she, right? And then he saw me go and pick up this baby. He's like, oh, Lord, forgive me. I'm looking at somebody's wife, and all of this. And then he said he thought I was the pastor's wife because I was on the keyboard. And then the pastor got it, and they were like, oh, maybe she. I'm like, I was 21. I was too young to be anybody's wife. However, when we met, these mutual friends kept inviting the two of us out together. And we got a little wise to the fact that they were trying to hook us
it up.
And we began this little dance
Okay.
where he'd call me and I wouldn't call him. And then I'd call him and he wouldn't call me. And finally we just had the guts to acknowledge that we did really like each other, even though we resented the hookup attempt. Right. And we began to date in really kind of that friend zone way, like, let's just keep it simple. I have a kid, so don't, make me any promises.
Right.
And a year and a half later, we got married. A year and a half.
Wow.
Not that I recommend fast engagements, but literally, I knew he was the one.
Yeah.
After probably our third date, I was like, I could see my future in this guy. And he felt the same way.
So
Oddly,
it's obviously.
it was kismet. And we've been together 25 years this July.
Oh,
Yay!
that is congratulations.
And I'm having a party.
Oh.
Having a party.
That is really, really fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
25 years. So I actually ask this of anyone I've ever met who's had a relationship that's over 25 years.
Wow.
What do you feel is the secret?
Forgiveness.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Forgiveness. Because you're going to have to.
Yes, honey.
Because we're all human and we
Yes.
make mistakes.
If you hold every grudge, you will never stay together.
Wow. Wow.
That's just the truth.
That's just bam, right?
That's a book.
That is a book.
It
That's
is.
a song. That's a book. That's a movie.
Oh, yeah,
that's
I
a
got a
little
song on that
okay.
subject, too.
That's right. Because you got to. Okay, we're going to get into the songs in just a moment. That is really phenomenal. And so what I'm already hearing is just such language around faith,
Absolutely.
right? So
Absolutely.
obviously your faith and the two of you as a couple, this is really important.
Absolutely. I know that I would not still be in the marriage, in the career. I wouldn't be doing, I can't, to be honest, I can't imagine who I would be today without God and without faith in Him to direct and guide my steps all throughout the years that I have been with Him in that way. Absolutely.
Excellent.
I don't know who I am without Jesus. Seriously.
Right.
I go, what would I have done if I hadn't made that step to say, what do I do?
Right.
I put it in your hands. I wouldn't be a mother, I don't think. And I wouldn't be in this business because
Really?
because I didn't have, I think, faith in myself.
Ah.
But I had faith in Him.
Okay.
And whenever He said go, I went.
So there was the obedience factor, so
Yes,
to speak, right? The
yes.
following, receiving the
The-
message and then following.
Absolutely.
That's
And
huge.
it comes every day.
I was just about to say that's an ongoing journey, right? It's not just once and done.
As little as the thought that says, don't forget your raincoat. And then
Mm-hmm.
it starts to rain. And that little voice told you to take your coat, right?
Right,
That's my step-by-step obedience.
I love
Listening
that.
to
That
the
little
still
voice,
small, yes.
the still small voice. Or some of us, I think we say, something told me to do blah, blah, blah. Something said to do
Something.
X,
A
Y, Z.
little bird.
Something, right.
Yeah.
Well, that something
Exactly.
is all.
It
all.
is.
And it's up to us to listen.
It's His wisdom.
Excellent.
And I think everyone can hear. We don't choose to hear.
Yeah. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, because we look back on our lives and go, something told me and I didn't. And then you regret that.
And then you regret.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think that's what helps us to start listening more.
Yes.
Is when we look and we didn't. And we go,
Right.
man, if I had just listened, if I had just
Exactly.
followed that,
Right.
paid attention.
You learn from success, but you learn
learn from-
more from failure.
We don't like that, but it's the truth.
It is.
It's very, very much the truth. So, and for your husband especially,
Yes.
faith played a major role in his career also, yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us a little about that.
We were 7 years in the league, which was hard. There were a lot of ups and downs with the NFL. He was cut more times than he played, I mean, to be honest with you. And he wouldn't quit. And I remember thinking, now, Lord, if this man won't do something else for a living, because I'm done with this. But, he had tenacity. And that tenacity is why he's successful. He came to Hollywood really on a wing and a prayer. We took a chance with someone who had opened a door to us.
Okay.
And was promoting our scripts and a couple little projects we had put together with our own money. And literally, we got on the bus, as they say. We took our 2 children,
Yes.
our little dusty car, and our U-Haul trailer with everything in it that we could live with,
Wow.
and drove to Burbank, California. I literally, if you check my Twitter, Rebecca K. Cruz on Twitter, I posted a photo yesterday of my first apartment we lived in.
Wow.
In 1997, we came to Los Angeles. And it wasn't the swank building it is today. It was
Right.
a 1950s villa style condos,
Right.
with paint so thick on the kitchen cabinets that you could not close the cabinet door. So many times they had painted the doors.
Wow. Wow.
And literally today we drive past that place and just remember
And
what
such gratitude. I'm
yes,
sure.
what we've been through.
Yes, Excellent. Wow, what an amazing story. And I think you're so right about the tenacity. I think that, there's a quote, something along that line, the difference between those who fail and those who succeed is whether you give up or not.
Absolutely.
So that tenacity, I think, is a huge factor. And you display that so much in your life, in your career, certainly as a mother, I'm sure.
Yes.
And I can't wait to really jump into some of the projects that you're doing that for you have been quite a faith walk.
Absolutely. Several tries.
All right. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. So come right back with Rebecca Cruz. Welcome back. We are here with Rebecca Cruz, who has just shared some amazing wisdom, tidbits of absolute, really truth, I believe, and not only professionally, but also personally in your life. And so I want to get a little bit more into, this project that you have begun, your music. This is your music. So, at the beginning, I've already talked about, the actress hat and the producer hat and the director, all of the hats. So, but you're really starting to step out even more from behind the scenes, now really into the forefront. Tell us, a little scary at times, right?
Absolutely.
Sure, because it's outside the comfort zone.
Well, and I've always been that girl who was behind the scenes. The bulk of my music career has been as a singer, songwriter, producer, arranger.
Okay.
So I was always the girl. If I joined the choir, I ended up directing the choir.
Right.
If I joined the dance team, I became the choreographer because I had vision. I could always see what needed to go on.
And the big picture.
So I wasn't always the girl who sang all the solos. I did on occasion, but I enjoyed telling people what to do, which is why I think I ended up with such a big family. I'm like the general, and I need some troops, and let's get it moving.
Order them around, to the left, to the right, drop and give me 20, right?
Absolutely, yes. Clean the room, clean up the dog poop, do the dishes.
Get it done.
Yeah, and so when my husband met me, that's what I was doing. I was the music minister at this church. And that was not the first time I'd done that. I started singing and writing my own music at about 10 years old and playing piano. My parents are both musicians. My mother was an opera singer, oddly, African-American woman singing opera.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Now,
I love that.
we thought it was horrible because we'd go to this little Methodist church, and here's my mother singing like, "A mighty fortress is our God." We're like, why you gotta sing like that, Ma? Like, we're into Natalie Cole and Chaka Khan.
Right.
And we're like, Mom, you sound like a white lady. I mean, that's terrible to say, but that's what we thought.
The perception, sure.
And we loved contemporary music and R&B and soul and jazz and all those things. And then my dad, my biological father, who passed away when I was very young, as well as my stepdad, both had this music gig thing they did aside from their professions. So I grew up with amazing jazz instrumentalists and singers coming to my home. Nice. We lived outside Chicago, and so my dad played at Navy Pier with Nancy Wilson. Oh, wow. He played with Duke Ellington and Cannonball Adderley. When they needed a horn section, he played horns. Wow. He played trombone and flute and a couple other things. And he was an attorney by day, but he loved music. And every weekend he gigged. So he really furthered my music education, bought me a piano, made sure that I was exposed to things. He would put me on his motorcycle, take me to jazz clubs in Chicago. I'm like 16 in the jazz clubs.
Oh, my goodness.
Watching these great pianists and artists.
Oh, my goodness.
And so jazz is a big influence on this project.
Okay.
And then ultimately I ended up in church playing gospel, directing choirs. The first gospel song I ever learned how to play was Be Grateful by the Hawkins family.
Yes.
And it's still one of my favorite songs.
One of my favorites.
And it was the beginning of ear training, the beginning of moving outside of theory and Beethoven, and learning to find popular music.
Yes.
Well, I began my first group when I was 14.
Okay.
I had all these little girls at my Catholic school singing my original songs. And then I started a choir in high school, had the school choir, and then also had my own group out of the choir. We were the chosen ones because I chose them out of the choir. And we gigged all over Gary and East Chicago and Hammond, and we'd sing at churches everywhere. Never got a dime, but we just loved it.
Right,
you know,
right. You're doing what
yes,
you
we're
loved.
doing what you love, doing God's will.
Right.
You know, singing for free and free chicken dinners. You know, and I played for churches. Pastor of a large church there, an AME church, actually was the first pastor to ever pay me to play for his youth choir.
Wow.
So I was making a living
Yes,
in
in
music,
music.
at a very young age.
Excellent, yes.
And by the time I graduated high school, I went on to college. I was also doing musical theater. So I was dancing and singing and, you know, anything artistic I did.
Right, yes.
And so I was that proverbial jack of all trades.
Yes.
Which is still, I'm sadly true, for me today.
Not sadly.
And well,
Not
but
obviously.
this is how I come to doing music today. Music has been one of the biggest influences in my life, but it wasn't always probable that I could go do it for a living because I had kids, I had this husband whose career was very much the center of our lives.
Sure, sure.
So for me, family was first. And I said, well, I don't know that I want to go live in New York,
Right.
audition,
Right.
do all
Do all of
that,
that.
and he's over here trying to make the team.
Right.
And the kids are where? With grandma, you know? And so I kind of put that away. And to be honest, I thought I might not ever do it. And I, about, how old am I? Maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago,
Wow.
went through a very traumatic experience. I miscarried a child at 6 months pregnancy
Whoa.
and was devastated,
Oh
was
my
just
God,
so
yes.
devastated. And one of those things where, oh, I prayed and I prayed, but it didn't happen like I wanted. Very devastating experience for your
Yes,
faith.
yes.
However, with that crisis came revelation. Understanding of why I needed to keep fighting, why I didn't need to just curl up in a ball and die after that experience.
Yes.
And that whole process of reviving me brought about a change in my destination. And it made me aware that I had not truly fulfilled my destiny yet.
There it is.
And there I saw myself in the music industry. And maybe, you know, modeling, acting, having more children. And I did have 3 more children after that.
Wow. Wow.
But in that, I knew it was time to pursue all of that, which was
within
in
you.
me, but wasn't being manifest, other than doing it for my church and
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
And I began the journey to where I am today.
Wow.
So how many producers, how many gigs, how many demos before I met the person who really, love you, Haskell Jackson, helped me
Amazing.
find my voice,
Yes.
make a way to do this like without fear, without
Yes.
prejudice,
Joyful.
and just joyfully do this, and motivated me to believe in myself. And I did it. And I literally am ready to release this single in July. And we have done everything we can do up to this point. We've put it together.
Yes.
And now the baby is
It's
born
ready- That's it.
and
Yes.
it's going out to the world.
Tell us the name.
The name of the song is Can I Stay in Your Presence? And it's about a worshipful experience I had coming home from church one night.
Yes.
And I said to myself, God, I don't want to leave the preciousness of what I'm experiencing today.
Right now.
And I wrote a song about it. And the song is called Can I Stay? And I think you're going to love it. It's infused with jazz and Latin and pop and a little Sade and a little whoever, Nora Jones. I play keys on the track. I play strings. I play all the instruments on the keyboard.
All of them.
Yes. So I'm producer, arranger, writer, and singing.
Musician, like all of it.
And then,
Oh,
you know,
hello.
partnership with
Hello.
Mr. Jackson, he's allowed me to create, like he brought the beats and the bass and the
Yes.
stuff that I don't really know how to do, and
Right.
I don't know how to engineer.
Right.
So he did
And
the hard part.
Yes, he did that. His
Yes.
side,
And
you
we
brought-
created this
wow.
amazing, beautiful song
Oh,
that
my
I think
goodness.
you're going to love.
I
I'm
know we're
afraid
going to
of.
love it. I know we're going to love it. And as soon as it's released, we will be there to celebrate it with you.
Thank you.
So excited. That's really an amazing story. That is so chock full. There's so many things in there. Again, we're back to the tenacity.
Yes.
We're back to the blessing, you know, that is in the middle of the breakdown, right? The breakdown
Right.
to break through.
Yes.
That is, I believe, really key
And there's a song on the album about that.
Okay.
Okay, do I tell? Yeah, the song is called Broken Soul. And it's about the way I overcame that loss.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorites on that album.
Okay. Well, we are waiting with bated breath, truly, for this music from you. I can't wait. Really can't wait. And we are going to hear a little bit more now about yet another project.
Yes.
Also epic, also full of amazing journey to get there.
Yes.
And that's the book.
Yay!
So we're going to get into that right after this. So come back with Rebecca Cruz. Sponsored by Soul Purpose Branding. Put your soul into your brand. Get your business on purpose. With Sabine Messner, the wizard of Soul Purpose Branding. SoulPurposeBranding.com. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Rebecca Cruz, who has just shared really a powerful story for her getting to the birth of her music after an incredible loss. So now we get to find out more about yet another project, a book.
Yes.
A book.
Well, I have to tell you, everyone has been saying to me, where is your book, Rebecca? Now, I'll tell you when my show came out a few years back. When did we air? 2000, I think 2010 through 2012. The Family Cruise was on BET. And we did go international, thank goodness. So we were with MTV International.
Yes,
so
yes.
my husband was in Bulgaria shooting The Expendables.
Wow.
And was watching us in Bulgarian at the gym.
Nice.
And I said, you know, I should have a few more checks in my bank account, considering we were worldwide.
Right.
But when the show aired, I got so many requests from women wanting to know secrets of a long marriage, secrets of a long life. How did you meet your husband? How did you stay together? How did you know he was the one? How do you manage your kids and your family and your job and being married to someone famous?
Yes.
So I became like Dear Abby over Facebook and Twitter. And I said, you know, I could just put this in a book and answer these questions. And so what has happened, my precious husband has long wanted to write. Now, he has written several scripts that have never seen the light of day. Sorry, honey bun.
Yet so far.
Yet so far. In the future, amen. But he was approached about a book after his recent, when did this happen? While he was shooting Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And there was talk for a while, like Terry should write a book, Terry should write a book. And finally there was a deal done with, I want to say it's Galvanized Publishing, to tell his story. And that book hit the bookshelves May 20th.
Nice.
And we have done some phenomenal PR and promotion around the book. And the book is called Manhood, How to Be a Better Man or Just Live with One. And it's a hilarious and often touching and funny and sad memoir of this little black boy from Flint, Michigan, who had a very big dream. Very big dream. I can tell you, for what he came from, he shouldn't have had the hope that he did.
Wow.
And when I met him, he was full of joy and enthusiasm and just knew he was going to be somebody.
Okay.
And I said, well, okay, I'm fine with that. Whatever you want to do, baby, I'm with you, you know. And his story is so touching. And within that framework, of course, I'm part of the book. So now, again, people are saying, Rebecca, write the book, write the book.
Yes.
So, yes, I am in the process of writing my first book.
Excellent.
And we have not agreed on a title, although I have some great ideas.
It's not going to just be Womanhood.
Yeah, no. I said, you know, I don't know that I can wear that title. I don't know. I'm a little bit like, get me to 90 before I can tell you how to be a woman. I'm like, you know, I'm always that person who said, I'm not writing a book about motherhood till my kids are grown. When they're little, you know, you're doing the best you can.
Right.
But if your kid ends up in prison, who wants to read the book, right? So I said, let's get to the end of the story before I tell you how I did it, you know.
Although, so many say and speak the truth of, it's not so much the end of the journey, it's the journey, right? So you would simply be sharing, and that's all you are, sharing from what you know at this point in your life, And
yeah.
so,
And I'm excited to share this story. It will certainly deal with my color, which is apparently an issue for many of my readers
yes,
and my
this
fans.
comes up a lot, doesn't
Yes,
it?
if you Google my ethnicity, you will find all kinds of debates about whether I'm white or black or some combination of the two.
Funny.
And so one of my original titles was Hi Yellow Girl, My Life in Black and White, because there were so many issues around being an ethnically ambiguous female in my industry. And it was often hard to get parts because they didn't know what to do with me and all of this. I thought, well, music is a great equalizer. Who cares, what color you are if you're a singer? Yeah. And so I love the fact that people want to know more about me. So I'm willing to tell that story. And in it, there'll be stories of faith and fun and facts as well as fiction. There'll be some stuff that you probably figure you don't need to know about Rebecca Cruz, but
you'll find out
tell
anyway.
The story.
And will you finally settle the question as to what is your ethnicity?
Oh yeah, I actually have already answered that question. I have footage of my African American mother who appeared on my show in 2010. So we discussed the ethnicity issue, but if you didn't see the episode, then you'll never know. Well, I'm obviously not all African American. I'm pretty pale. So there's some other things in there, but we had to keep you guessing.
Stay tuned.
Yes. but I love that people care enough to watch and support. And our fans are wonderful. They have been very loving and supportive to me. They stop me in the grocery store and say, "How's your grandbaby, Miss Cruz?
Oh, nice.
How are your children? Is Isaiah any bigger?" And little Isaiah cried on his first day to school. And everybody wants to know how he's doing. And people want to catch up on the kids. And we get daily requests to bring our show back. So I don't know. I don't know. I have to see what God has in store.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be on TV. I'm not sure exactly how.
Okay.
And so there's a lot in the works there. The talk show thing is still kind of brewing.
Excellent.
There's still meetings being had about talk for us as a family.
Yes.
So we're aiming to influence culture and just shine a light, like you say, Orgena.
That's what it's all about.
Really,
and you do. I mean, the two of you and your family, obviously, you had the show and it was reality, but the way that you live your lives and how much it's so centered around your faith and love for each other, love for God, and love for your children, and wanting to shine your light. Like that is your goal.
It really is. I say entertainment is my platform.
Yes.
To shine my light.
Yes. Oh.
Because
well said.
Yeah. I'm not an entertainer just because I like being looked at.
Right.
Actually,
it's not like all about the show.
Yes, I'm actually a little bit of a shy girl, and I like going to things and meeting people.
Yes.
And being on TV, but I don't crave the limelight. Now, husband craves the limelight, bless his heart.
Right.
But I have a talent that I want to share, and I have a light that I want to send.
You have a message.
Yes, absolutely, and it's in the heart of everything I'm doing, from the book to the songs. It's simply a story of a girl who didn't know what was possible.
So the thing about your family, and especially for you, is that you have a message, that you're really about the fact that you're here to do a work and share your message.
Absolutely. I come from a ministry family. My grandfather is a pastor, and his wife pastored, and they were musicians and artists. And that conglomeration of art and ministry is in the family bloodline.
Yeah.
And so there's just this entertainer, gospel preacher, singer, girl that I have to be.
Right.
And how she looks to the world is a little bit of a mystery to me, but she's just there. It's not definable yet.
Okay, it's coming.
But
it's
becoming.
There.
It's becoming. And I think this hybrid of ministry and entertainment is so needed because we're not aware of what it is we take in every day.
Right.
We need something to eat and drink for our souls that lifts us.
Yes, yes.
And that's my hope. That's my desire, to just share something that lifted me and that hopefully will lift you.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you so, so much.
My pleasure.
Truly, for being on the show and sharing and shining your light, truly, as you do. We are so excited for you, so happy for you. We celebrate with you all of your accomplishments, all of the hats that you wear, and the way that you are showing up in the world and being such a beautiful light. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Orgena Rose.
And we thank all of you for being with us today. We hope that indeed you have heard, seen something that can help you on your journey as you are shining your light. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today on our show. I really hope that there was something shared that really helps you shine your biggest and brightest light. Please stop by again, like us on Facebook, tweet us, all of those good things. And most importantly, please always remember, it's all about love.